episode of Winning in the Air, Excel Ultimate is going to teach you how to box out. Boxing out is a really important skill that can turn a jump ball into an advantage for you every time. You can also use tips and tricks on boxing out to seal your defender and open up the under space. Okay, now we're gonna take a look at the box out from one of the best drills that we know. Here we have a race with the offense in white and the defense in dark to these two cones 3 yards away. We're gonna notice that no matter how fast they are, it's gonna be really close because the race is very short. And B, the offense in Ultimate always has the advantage. First, they get to pick the race where and when it begins. So all we're gonna do now is we're gonna race to this cone, and you can't leave until the offense leaves. Nice, perfect. Now, if we move these cones out further and further, that's gonna give dark more time to catch up, especially a lot of D-line players, very athletic, very fast. The bigger the space is, the harder it is for offense to maintain it. So now, what we can do is we can play a game. If I'm gonna go to offense here, so I'll take your spot. If I'm racing to that cone and I get to choose when the race starts, I can win by walking. And now we're gonna play the same game that you and Mini Pipe just played. And that's what boxing out is. You're taking the line in front of the defender, creating that space. Now they can't get past you without fouling, and you're able to control the rest of the race. And that's how we're gonna work on our boxing out. So now let's do a couple of drills at 60, 70%. Same thing. We want our first step on the box out to be right here, and now you're controlling the race. It's good to kind of go up to speed with this drill just because there's a little physicality and you gotta work on properly boxing out without using your arm, without fouling, and without cutting them off. If you have the space, it's legal. If you take their space, that's when it's against the rules. All right, couple 50, 60%. Nice, good. Okay, and we'll notice there, if I hop in on offense again, one more time. If I take a big step up here, there's still a gap where the defender can go around, especially if they're very quick. I like to take the step as shallow as possible. That way I'm controlling them with my body. Now, since we have a forced flick, the defender will most likely be on the open side. So they have a little more of an angle towards this area laterally, and you have a little more head start vertically. So how you can combine those two to make the best route to it, especially if the disc is underthrown and you know the defender has a chance to get there, is instead of making this angle directly at the disc and making it a race, where even though you have a step, if the defender's faster, they can get there and get a piece of it. What you can do is start your run with a little angle without making any contact, get to the space first, and now the entire race will be run with you in front of the defender who's trailing your line and can't get past you because that would be a foul. A second common example to boxing out and shielding with your body is if this throw from the handler goes a little bit towards the break side and ends up over in this catching window, take more of a central line to keep this defender on your back. So if we freeze here, we have the throw shape, the offensive player's line, and the defensive player's line. And again, if the defender's very fast or if the disc is underthrown, instead of risking them getting to the spot, We can adjust our angle as the cutter with a step down field. Come a little bit to the right where we know the defender's going to be running. Slow down. And now we're running on their angle and they can't pass us without contact or a foul. So if I'm on defense and I see this big fade, I'm gonna try to give up the open side to get on this break side so I now steal as a defender.